Hi! A couple of years ago, I started keeping sketchbooks, and I think I have at least 30 to 50 sketchbooks at this point. I think I should number them, to be honest. But anyways, recently I finished another sketchbook, and today I'll be showing you everything I did in this sketchbook, so let's get this sketchbook tour started. Hey magical sparks, welcome back to my channel, it's Sparkle! And today I'll be giving you a tour of the very first sketchbook I filled in 2025. So let's get this started. So I made a video where I customized my sketchbook, and in that video I added this gorgeous rainbow vinyl paper on top of my sketchbook, which initially failed but eventually turned out looking gorgeous. I also added this kind of gold border to make it look a little, I guess, fancy, and I think I kind of achieved that. And with that, let's open up my sketchbook and see what's inside. On the left, we have the inside of the cover where I basically just kind of blurted everything onto the paper. I mean, it's so chaotic, but I love how it looks. And on the right, we have a character design for a character I made just for this page. Her name is Crystal and she's a rainbow fairy tiger. And as you can see, I worked on this sketchbook for approximately 4 months. But, we can minus the art block and stuff like that later on. Over here we have a collage type of thing. I've just made this to cover up the marker bleed through, to be honest. And on the right we have some brainstorming. And as you can see, it is quite obvious that in the end we went with the rainbow tiger and rainbow background. And I'm obsessed with how cute Crystal looks. I love how aesthetic my sketchbook goals page turned out. I'm obsessed with it. And on the right I was testing out some different art supplies. Next up, we've got a drawing of Pua and Heihei from Moana 2. I think they look so cute, and we can't forget about the water, of course, and I'm honestly really impressed with how the water turned out. It has to be my favorite thing. Next up, we've got a drawing of a random zebra, but it looks so much like Marty to me, like Marty from Madagascar, so I did the obvious thing and wrote a quote from Marty from Madagascar. And if you know, you know. Now this entire spread, I really wanted to stick with like a black and white theme, so for the page on the left, I used only 2 pens to make all these drawings, and on the right, I used 2 acrylic paint pens, and I really love how they look together. I also love how this spread looks as well. I basically just drew a bunch of rainbow blobs and added some doodles on top. It was quick, it was easy, and it just looks so fun and colorful. Now with this spread, it was honestly such a blast to fill in. I went to the library, I got my headphones, I was listening to music, and I found this book by Naomi Lord, and I just followed the tutorials in the book and I made these drawings, and it was honestly just such a fun vibe. I would love to do this again. Next up, we have just a random drawing, and honestly, don't ask me the question who is this, because it's no one. I have no idea. I just made a sketch and then I decided to add orange randomly, and then I decided to write orange, and just like that, we have an orange spread. Now here, I wanted to draw like a kid, so that's basically the page on the left, and on the right, I wanted to create chaos. So there we go. That's the simple answer and explanation for both of these pages. But both of them were super fun to fill in. And now we've got some wicked good fan art. I made this after going to gold class for the first time with my friend to watch Wicked, and these drawings are just a nice way to kind of hold on to that memory. Next up, you know that feeling when you're like watching a movie and you're entertained but your hands are just so bored? Well, yeah, my hands were bored, so I gave them my sketchbook and a pen and made some doodles. Now at this point, I kind of felt a mild art block coming on, so I tried to kind of divert myself by making this fun little carefree drawing of a cake that we got to celebrate reaching 400,000 subscribers last year. Then I made this simple flower doodle, and yep, the art block definitely hit me. Because, as you can see, there is a 1-month gap between both of these pages, actually more than a month, and that's because I was on vacation, but also I was simultaneously dealing with art block. What a great combination. But I know my way and I know how to work around an art block, so what I did was I did take a break. For example, I sketched out this entire page back in January, but I took a break and I came back and I actually colored this in February, and I love how it turned out. We have some drawings of little June, my puppy. He is so cute in this, and gradually I was able to overcome my art block, and at this point I am happy to report that the art block is long gone. Also, I love this spread so much because it is my favorite spread in this entire sketchbook. Over here, I was having a good day, so I thought I might write about it in my sketchbook. And now let's move into February. Over here, I just wanted to draw with no prior planning. I just wanted to kind of go with the flow and create randomly. So I swatched some markers, I added some colors, I wrote nachos, I wrote cheese, I wrote random stuff because I just wanted to create. And I definitely think I achieved that goal. Now here, I actually drew this eye first, the one at the very top corner, and then the entire spread here was inspired by that and inspired by the color palette, and I think it turned out pretty cool. I'm really proud of the hair on this one, and of course my favorite drawing, as always, has to be any drawing I make of baby June, because he's just the cutest little baby. Next up, we have just a page that I wanted to make without any more planning. So the left side, I just kind of drew on to cover up the marker bleed through from here using acrylic paint pens. And on the right side, I tried out my new Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, and I drew a, how do you say this, hibiscus? Hibiscus? I don't know. I drew a flower from my grandma's house. On the left side, we have a bit of a collage, and on the right side, we have some fan art for The Rookie, which was a show I was watching at the time. So for this drawing, I just used some chisel nib and bullet nib markers, and this was such a quick drawing, but I love the way the shading turned out in the face. I don't normally do this type of shading, but I think I might try it more often because I'm so proud of how this drawing turned out. And now flipping the page, we have this drawing of Donald Duck, but there's something off, I can't figure out what. And flipping the page again, we have just some random scribbles, I guess. I don't know, I was bored, I wanted to draw, and I drew. And here we have some actual cute drawings that I kind of made up on the spot. And on the right side, I randomly wanted to measure my dog because I've never done it before. So that's what that's about. And in the corner, we have a Stitch sticker. This is such a random spread, but it's kind of fun. And over here, a random idea popped into my head where I wanted to create a magical ice cream. And so I made it. I made it once, I made it twice, and I made it thrice. And I posted a short tutorial and a video tutorial on how I made it. But here's my very first attempt. Here's my quote-unquote prototype, and I definitely love the first version more than the others because I feel like this is the best representation of me. I also just love what I wrote on the back. I think it's kind of magical and kind of mysterious, don't you? And now on the right side, I used 3 highlighters to draw Mr. June in kind of like a bright pop art type of style. Over here we have some Zentangles in 6 boxes, and on the right we have another ice cream, and this one I filmed in my recent 5 ways to fill your sketchbook video. What I am so impressed about is the fact that each of these ice creams, the 3 that I made, they each have their own different personalities. They have different flavors, different vibes to them, and different backgrounds, and they're all so similar yet so different. I think it's pretty cool. And with that, we are approaching the last spread of my sketchbook, and here it is. So over here on the left, we have some kind of like fan art. So I tried to draw myself as a character from My Little Pony. I think that's how I would look if I was in the show. And I also tried to draw myself as a Powerpuff Girl, and I think both of these are quite accurate. And on the right side, I tried to draw this cute angel figurine that was a gift from my parents, but in my style, and this was such a fun drawing to work on. And here's how they look side by side. What do you think? If you'd like to see how I filled in both of these pages and a couple more pages, make sure to go and check out my recent 5 ways to fill your sketchbook video where I show you guys how I made these drawings. And with that, my sketchbook is officially complete. I can't believe we've already reached the end. Usually I feel quite sad saying goodbye to a sketchbook, but not this time. I just don't want to work on this sketchbook anymore because I had such a bad art block when I was working on this. I kind of just want to put it away, save the memories for next time, but work on a brand new sketchbook and create some good memories and some positive associations. So this is my next sketchbook. I actually started it in my recent video where we worked on the first page together, and I love how it's looking already. I'm not sure why I'm feeling a sense of positivity and good luck, but maybe it's the fact that this sketchbook is purple, maybe it's the fact that we have double the amount of pages, or maybe it's the fact that it's double the size. I have no idea, but I'm just feeling a really good vibe. I feel super excited to fill this in, and more than that, I feel super excited to take you guys along with me as we fill this sketchbook in together. So make sure to grab your sketchbook and be ready for a bunch of magical art videos that are going to be coming your way for the rest of this year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a fabulous day. Stay awesome as always, and I'll see you in the next one.